Once upon a time, there was a little kingdom of mouse, that bigger than one family, but smaller than one state. The king and queen mouse sitting on their beautiful chairs in the palace, but all the mice were working all day, preparing their food and caring for their baby mouse. Once in the homeland of the mouse, there was a good rain season and a plenty harvest. So everybody has decided to stock the crops for the kingdom fund and have a good life. And then they shared their tasks. The king mouse had a responsibility to count and look after the fund of the kingdom, whereas the rest of the mice were given the task to stay in the field and crop the wheat. Working mice were tried harder all day and night. Days after days, the bowl in the front of queen and king were still the same, almost empty before. Nobody knew when it will be full. Day by day, the king and queen mouse getting fatter and fatter, as they cannot sit in their seats and walk anymore. Sometimes they were eating so greedily, as like they were competing each other, that who could eat more. Moreover, they were hiding from each other and eating even during the night. But working mice were getting slimmer day by day, as like hardly anyone can see the body out of the head. No matter how hard it was, they were working harder and harder. Suddenly, a little mice started to cry because they were so hungry. They cried so loudly, and other mice have become angry, except the king and queen mouse. All the crying noise disturbed the king and queen mouse. They thought that these little mice are not crying because they are hungry, just pretending and wanna eat from our crops. So they sit still like did not hear anything. One day the bowl became empty. In the same time, the mice entered to the palace to have some wheat from the fund. Working mice were surprised when they saw the bowl. There were a big excitement in the palace, and little mice were crying louder. All of a sudden, a little mouse shouted, "Stop!" And everyone stopped, wondered who's that, and asked each other. The little mouse pointed off to me of the king and queen mouse and said, "Sad this happened, but we have to resolve the problem," and brought his accounting books. In the past years, I have counted and created this database. From this paper, we can get information about how much we gave into the state fund and how much they have received and spent. For example, last year we could easily see the 55% of our total fund, that who had contributed how much into the fund. The king and queen mouse's eyes were getting bigger and realized that this little mouse knew how much we have eaten. And working mice also realized that this little mouse knew how much we have contributed. And the other group of mice also realized that this little mouse knew we have got nothing. During that time, a little mouse said, "To be able to count everything, we need to be transparent and accountable, and everyone should follow this in their life." Everyone agreed what he said and named him EITI. As like before, the king and queen mouse were sitting in the palace and working mice were working harder, but everyone became happy. The bowl in front of the king became full. when the Queen Mouse tried to take a crop like a cat like. The weighing scale which located under the bowl started to warm, and everyone looked back at the Queen Mouse, and her cheek flushed and gets back the crop and never touch it again. Finally, because of the weighing scale, everyone have become accountable, and therefore this made them to trust each other. Since this time, everyone became happy ever after.